Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday Tirade Entertainment Talk Show with myself and Mr. Tom Connors of Midnight's Edge After Dark, Midnight's Edge Espanol, Mead Radio, Midnight's Edge Archives, and pretty much any other thing that has the word midnight in it. How's it going, Tom?
I'm tubular, totally tubular.
Totally, indeed. Yeah, we are having some weirdness today in the markets, the broader markets, the volume of the markets. Lots of bad news. There's going to be more of it. Tomorrow's video will expand upon that, so stay tuned for tomorrow's video. But we're here to talk about entertainment today, entertainment news, entertainment items. I don't know. Tom, do you have any entertainment things you would like to cover today? Because I only have a couple, and we're only going to go about an hour and change. So
I haven't really been keeping up with anything. I listened to a little bit of the Johnny Depp trial earlier today, but other than that, I've just been scrambling to get shit done by the time your show started. And I know Andre's trying to get a video up too. And
well, we're not going to go long today, unfortunately, folks. But a lot of that is pressure on me and on him to actually do the work. So we'll give you about an hour or so and go from there. But yeah, the depth thing, the JD thing, that thing's bananas, right? And it gives you like this really weird like sense of wanting to protect JD, right? Despite the fact that, he has his own demons to deal with. He really came across as the most sympathetic, at least from everything I was able to observe in the 4 days of testimony that he gave.
Yeah, and this judge seems very biased.
You think so?
A little bit.
Towards him or AH?
Yeah.
Wow, really?
You can tell by the way she allows or doesn't allow certain objections and sustains things. It's just the way she says it and how.
A lot of that could also be because the previous portrayal of Depp was very unfair in the UK. I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of stuff that was presented in the UK, I believe, was entered into evidence. So I'm not sure at what point those things will be brought out. But man, just insane. Who knows? But you may be right. I haven't clearly watched that closely, just little clips here and there. So it is something everybody's watching. I mean, you only have to look at what that Umbrella guy and Rakita Law and everybody else is doing right now. I mean, Nick's been killing it. Lots of places have been killing it. So, but yeah, we got some folks in the chat I want to say hi to real quick. We'll jump on a story I thought was kind of amusing and kind of kick it off from there. We got Keith Howard hanging out with us today. Good to see you, my friend. Trav 101. Joining us from the UK. Morgan King is here as well. And HVP says, someone wake up Tom. Well, Tom was working. I can guarantee it, at least so far today.
Actually, no, I was actually running around doing stuff.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Really? Good for you. Since the takeover of Twitter slot of account are being reinstated. Yeah, a whole lot of accounts are being reinstated. Drunk 3PO's old account is back. Jeremy D-Day Cobra's back, as well as lots of folks leaving Twitter, including Talcum X. So what do you make of it all, Tom? I guess we're going to have to talk a little bit about Twitter.
I find it hilarious.
Boy, oh boy, that's a really old picture of Cuddles. Yeah, I need to update our intro graphics. I like the music and everything, but I think I can kick it up a notch and get better. Hey, what's going on, Olaf? We got Munchkin out there. Looks like the ever lovely Six here is sharing some stuff I really didn't want to know about. But it's good to see Six. Anyway, you wrote a paper on it. I really don't know that I want to learn more about that, but thank you. Thank you. The lovely Sherry is here as well with a new photo. We've got Aluvrian Imakara joining us saying happy Tuesday. Cosmic Squirrel is checking in from the cosmos. We've got Whiskey Jack out there and Commander It's Draker of Shadow. Terry Rose is talking about the crash. It's going to be bad, I think. And Sean Estep is out there as well. We got our buddy Steven out there, Deleted Scenes. You guys can check out Deleted Scenes channel. We got Biggles Mets out there. Godzillionaires in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Haven't seen you in a moment, you icon rocking rap star. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I can't really say the thing I was going to say, but yeah. Let's see. I think Darcipia's here. Good to see you. Yeah, I don't know why anybody says that. It's a wizard robe, but you know, whatever. Humor and Waffles is here. Says, "Hail, Tom and CC. Never been
The
on the
Grand
stream."
Wizard.
Yeah, that's not a compliment, my friend. Not a compliment.
I know this. That's why I brought it up.
I will fix it. Okay, we're gonna update the intro then. God,
Make me a turtle.
you want to be a turtle? I can do that.
I don't know. I'm just saying shit.
That'd be pretty fun. If I get any worse, how am I getting any worse? Oh, are you talking about the beard? Yeah, the beard needs to get trimmed a bit. There's no doubt about it.
No.
Yeah. Fred Blogs is here. Says, better hope some ducks never get. Whoa, hey now. I didn't need to know that either. You guys are crazy. Turtle Tom, Ninja Turtle. So, yeah. I saw Zach roll in here, but I don't know why he's not showing up on this side. That's really weird. Don Incognito is here, and look like James Hurley is joining us as well. Warner Brothers needs to figure out what they need to do with Harry Potter. I agree with
Leave
that.
it alone for a while.
Yeah, set on it for a bit. Give J.K. Rowling, some room and license to write something else. That maybe you
recast it and start over.
Yeah, with kids that won't disrespect you later down the way.
Do it as a TV show instead this time.
Maybe. We've got Tina Bojan out there, probably still enjoying the 6 episodes of Moon Knight. You're not shadow banned. Oh, you guys are nuts. All right. Hey, Soul Assassin's here. What's up, Chatimal? All right. Let's do this. So there was a lot of like things that were tentatively greenlit for pilot season that were mean-spirited and intentionally so that we're going to start to see get canceled. So we had one of these things actually get canceled just a few moments ago, which again should surprise no one because it was going to look very bad, as if we didn't already know things were quite broken. And of course, it's TBS that's doing the canceling. And who did they just add as the leader in charge of everything at TBS? David Zaslav. So, yeah. So you have the TBS comedy series "Kill the Orange-Faced Bear" axed as Warner Brothers Discovery leadership examines the slate. Did you imagine
what the hell is "Kill the Orange-Faced Bear"?
Well, put on your thinking cap. Who's the orange man?
Really?
Hey. "Kill the Orange-Faced Bear" starring Damon Wayans Jr. is not going forward at TBS. The cast and crew were told about the decision, which comes a week before the comedy series was scheduled to begin production on its 10-episode order in Vancouver. I hear the project, which has a filmed pilot, will be shopped to other outlets by the producers. This marks the first major decision to kill a Warner Media Entertainment project following the completion of Discovery's acquisition. It follows the new leadership's recent move to swiftly pull the plug on CNN Plus after just weeks of operation. Warner Brothers Discovery is pledged to deliver $3 billion in cost savings from the deal, and the demise of Kill the Orange-Faced Bear is believed to be a business, not a creative decision. I disagree. It's probably both. Further culling of Warner Media Division slates is expected as the new top executives examine the newly acquired assets. First of all, not a creative decision. Tom, with a title like that and the people behind it, you don't think this was narratively driven?
If it was already ordered a series and it got canceled, then what the fuck would you call it?
Yeah. So, it is what it is. But they're going to shop that around.
They can paint this any way they want. They can spin it any direction they want. Zaslav is cleaning house. And another thing I predicted would happen happened. They finally announced that Batgirl is going on into theaters, which I said like a big old fucking duh.
We knew that would happen. There's no
way.
And
then people are patiently waiting for a Batman 2 announcement that's probably not going to happen today, kids.
No, I don't think so either. Can you imagine haven't crossed 800 million yet?
It was only the second highest watched premiere on HBO Max. Big major ass movie. Was in theaters and all that business. Yeah. And it's still only the second most watched thing on HBO Max.
What was the first?
I don't remember if it was Dune or something else. I'd have to look.
I think it was Dune, but so
you do or don't think it was?
I do think it was Dune.
I think it was.
Yeah, this is the synopsis of this thing. It says the modestly budget Kill the Orange-Faced Bear was picked up to series in November is about one man's epic revenge journey after a bear eats his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So there you go. So this thing's toast. There's going to be a lot of other stuff that's going to be toast. I have a feeling that we'll be talking about those things that will be on their way to us shortly.
Actually, it was Mortal Kombat.
Oh, was it MK?
Yeah. And then right behind the Batman was Suicide Squad with 3.5, and then Dune. Dune was actually way behind Matrix Resurrections and Wonder Woman, believe it or not. I didn't think it did that bad. And then finally the Justice League. And this is what I was telling people. It didn't do as great as people thought it did.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm glad Hurley had that too. James Hurley had that out in the chat. So yeah, that's interesting. I thought Dune would have done much better. But Bamagrad for $5 says, hey guys, heads up for you, Tom. You have a small box which should be delivered Wednesday or Thursday. Culture, do you have a mailing address? Just saying. I do. I'm actually going to write down the PO box because I have a terrible memory, and I will get that out for everybody. So you can send.
I've actually been getting some things in the PO box. I mean, which is kind of like which is funny because I was thinking about getting rid of it because nobody had been sending us anything, and then all of a sudden I started getting some things. So I'm like, oh well.
Yeah, you also don't have the best mailman, from what I'm to understand.
Well, the PO box is in a completely different town.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
But yeah, and it's a smaller post office, so that part I don't have so much of an issue with. But it's just I only get there maybe once or twice a week, or my parents will pick it up for me because they live closer, and then I'll pick it up from them. But no, I had it for the longest time, and nobody really sent much there. And then all of a sudden, in the last couple of weeks, we've gotten some things. So hopefully, I get a chance to talk about some of them on one of our member streams here.
Well, thank you for this super chat, Bamagrad, and I'm sure Tom will appreciate what you sent him.
I like stuff.
I like that our chat is well informed on all of this stuff.
I did not realize it did that. See, and then people are talking about no sequel for that. Oh, that's definitely getting sequels and a half.
PS4.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Batman gets a sequel, but
Darth Scipio says, who's going to see Batgirl at the
cinema? Well, the thing is, Darth Scipio, I get where you're coming from, but it has Michael Keaton in it. That's where I scratched my head from the very start. I'm like, why is this going to HBO Max?
Yeah.
I actually would probably rather see that than Flash.
Yeah, true. And right now we have CinemaCon, which is enormous.
Yeah, we're getting a few announcements. We got another Ghostbusters sequel, which we all figured was coming anyway, but has been confirmed as was Venom 3. If I could talk. Those are the only ones that I know of so far. And I think Warner's is coming up here in a little bit if they haven't started already. So.
We'll have to see. I mean, Sony went all big. You have, I think Disney dropping some info today.
I didn't see Disney's.
I grabbed one of those, so we'll grab it here in a second. We got Blue Eyed Roof Korea in the base with a $5 super chat. Thanks for this, my friend. Appreciate it. Says best part about Twitter news is there will be no billionaire waiting to unlock Hollywood. Eventually, fans will be able to buy at basement prices. Indeed. Yeah. Let's see. Paramount is interested in making more movie-based on Sega properties after Sonic. So they are making Streets of Rage and Yakuza, which is a Japanese mob murder simulator, into movies. Yeah, the Yakuza is an awesome game. It wouldn't surprise me. Sega's content, their game catalog is amazing, so they would make great films. And obviously somebody knows how to do it. I mean, we've got Sonic out there in the world, so we'll see. It's just who's going to pay for it, because Paramount has no money. None. Ask Tom.
No.
Yeah, let's see. Anybody else roll through? Jack's here. What's up, buddy? New Netflix show. Don't do the camping in Kamchatka or bear eat you. There you go. Sounds good. Did I do that right? Was that a solid enough Netflix accent?
It was okay.
Okay, thank you. Very good. Do you want to read it instead?
New Netflix show. Don't do the camping on Kamchatka or bear eats you. Did I say Kamchatka right?
Kamchatka. I love it. Poor amount plus. Indeed, Olivia and Imakar. You guys are on fire. Sony producing a film. Oh, yeah, about El Muerto. I saw that today. Yeah, that's going to be a weird one, right? Kind of a Spider-Verse character. It's going to be interesting.
Man, what the fuck is that shit?
I think Bad Bunny, not the Bad Bunny that's in the chat, but Bad Bunny, the rapper, performer, is actually taking the lead on that. So I can't recall much about that character at all. So, but I think that's an interesting thing to note. Here we go. Elon Musk noise Netflix. That would be interesting. Are you for sale?
Be a good investor.
Yeah, you would be, indeed. There is a joke in there somewhere. Kamchatka. There you go. That's bad. All right, let's dive on something else. We got a couple other things. I want to talk about this, Tom. This is the most anticipated film of the last decade. Maybe possibly longer.
Which one?
Are you excited?
The Spider-Man Al-Wam what?
Did I excite you?
No.
Okay, here. This you should get excited.
I don't even know what Al-Wakwo is.
Okay, here we go.
It's probably just as bad as Miles Morales.
No, this film, the one I'm about to bring up, you're going to be seriously. We've been waiting a decade for it. Here we go.
Better be a good Ninja Turtle movie.
Avatar 2 is expected to preview at CinemaCon.
You liar.
The exhibition community is readying for the sequel to James Cameron's 2009 blockbuster. Dude, this is over a decade. It's 13 years later, which made $2.8 billion at the box office. Cinematech firm Christie confirms it's working with Cameron's Lightstorm to advance theatrical capabilities. Wow.
In what way?
I don't know. Let's read. Wah, 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 wah. You scroll. Why is it jumping? Stop jumping.
It's loading shit.
While Disney is keeping tight-lipped, CinemaCon attendees are expected to get a first glimpse at James Cameron's wildly anticipated Avatar sequels, the first of which is scheduled to open December 16th during its slate presentation Wednesday at the theater owner's confab. So that's mañana. Meanwhile, on Tuesday, projector maker Christie and Cameron's Lightstorm Entertainment announced a 16-year partnership includes collaborating on advanced theatrical display capabilities for 3D and high frame rates for Avatar 2D. Now, Wild speculation on my part. AMC just announced they were going massive with the expansion of laser projection in all of their theaters. Do you think this is these things are
So
related?
3D is the only gimmick he's got besides high frame rate? Right. Two things that are not going to sell this fucking movie. Okay, first of all, and I'm a fucking fan and an avid fan of 3D. Nobody
Yeah.
gives a fuck anymore. High
Mm-mm.
frame rate, you might as well chalk that up to a loss because remember how well that worked for Hobbit and that Will Smith movie?
Yeah.
People fucking hated it.
Yeah.
The only people who think that shit's cool is like 17-year-old guys who just don't get it and think it's cool when they take the motion blur out of the Ed 209 scene in RoboCop. And it's like, no, you just destroyed Bill Tippett's art, you dirty bastard. Like, I don't want to see a high frame rate movie. Fuck that noise.
Man, the chat's on fire. Thank you, all of you out there, for commenting. It's insane. Raptors 50's like Avatar 2, the Battle of the Blueberry People.
So this
Actually,
is the big thing you were waiting to tell me about is they're doing that. That is nothing.
are you
That is
sure?
nothing new. That is absolutely nothing new. It was fucking Hobbit was over 15 years ago now or 10 years ago. That's nothing new. Gemini Man was like 5, 6 years ago. It didn't help those movies at all. Who gives a fuck about high frame rate?
A lot of people. Okay,
Who?
nobody. You're right. I just thought I'd get
Everybody
you
who's seen
fired.
it says it just doesn't look right. It looks
No,
like
it's
I'm watching a soap opera. It
soap
looks like
opera.
I'm watching a football game. It looks like I'm
And
watching TV in the theater. That's what they
but,
say.
but you need the high frame rate for 3D so that one eye gets one signal and the other guy gets the other signal, so that if your brain can fill it
No,
in.
it'll still look like Gemini Man
I hope not, but we'll
and The
see.
Hobbit. I bet you $5. That's what it is.
Yeah, we're Avatar 2 Electric Boogaloo. You guys are on fire.
This is going to
Uh,
be a disaster.
yeah.
I was hoping he had something. Because if you got to go see this with 3D glasses, that's another failure.
Wow, Oluvrian is educating us here.
That's
Goodness.
about the only time you'd think you'd want it, but even then, no, not really.
Look, this project is how many billions has Cameron put into this now?
I
All
don't
these
fucking
sequels.
know.
It's like four something $billion, something
Jesus.
like that. We'll have to see what happens. But look, it's coming out December 16th, whether you want it or not.
Yeah, like Samurai Vader said, high frame rate is great for video games. Yeah,
Awesome,
for a
yeah.
video game or a football game.
Yeah, Nana Pieces, I've done 3D and delivered at 23.976 frames per second. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you need to do it as much as people think you need to do it. But hey,
I don't think this 3D thing is going to help.
No, it's something. He's got to have something else. He's got to have something else.
Because it says right there, they have prepped thousands of 3D glasses. So it's clearly not glass-free 3D, which was his original plan.
Was what they were talking about. Yeah.
Which that's an innovation. That's a step up. Because then you could probably get people interested. Because they're like, oh, I can see a 3D movie without those fucking glasses. Now you're talking.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to do layered semi-permeable screen.
It's available. They can do it. It's just, it is expensive yet. Yes. Because it's a multi-plane kind of thing.
Yeah, because you're projecting one thing on the front screen, and from the back, you're projecting on the back screen. It's very strange.
Or one bleeds through to the other. It's however it works. But
all right. So it says
I've seen it done in like slot machines and stuff. They've used the technology already quite a bit.
Dolby's also prepped thousands of 3D glasses for CinemaCon specifically. They're going to be installing company's premium 4K, high dynamic range, high frame rate, 3D capable laser-based projection system. So this is definitely feeding into what I was talking about AMC spending their money on. The Coliseum also houses both Christie and Barco laser projectors for this week's event with such capabilities.
I'm fine with the laser projectors. We could use better projectors.
Yeah, because let me tell you, brightness is a big problem in theaters.
That's why I hate going to see a movie in the theater. I get a better picture at home. I get better sound in most cases at home. So it's really kind of pointless for me to go see a movie most of the time in the theater. I even have a 3D TV up here, a plasma 65-inch.
Man, I like the deep blacks on the plasma, but the image burn in possibilities are just
Yeah,
terrifying.
plasma has a great picture though, especially when you're watching older stuff like DVD and stuff. It
Really
helps
deep
big
depth,
time.
deep depth
Well, that's
blacks.
kind of what 4K is simulating, is that that look
Yeah,
really
it
when
is.
it comes to the black.
Yeah, when you move beyond that, I mean, honestly, if CRTs could have kept pace with all these other kind of technologies, they are vastly superior. I know a lot of people don't realize that, but the linear breakdown in the screen is
I mean, I got a
best.
pretty decent 4K TV. I wouldn't say it's high end, but it's decent. It's an LG. It's not OLED or anything like that. It's just a regular LED as far as I know. But I mean, it's 82-inch. It looks really good for me. I mean, again, it still looks better than any experience I've had in theaters.
We're gonna have to see how this works out. I really want this to work. I really want this to work. I want to see, non glass based 3D, but
That's not what this is about, though. It sounds
no,
like
I
here.
know. No, it doesn't sound like it. Doesn't sound like it. And they could be saying that they prepped 3D glasses and they didn't. You don't know. I don't know either. I do know this. And this is a
No, this to me sounds like a carnival barker promising me every kind of thing in the world and not delivering.
yeah, I'm worried about that. I don't know if that's even, does anybody care about Avatar? I don't think anybody in the chat cares
No,
about
that's the main problem you have. First of all, nobody gives a
it.
fuck about the sequel. Secondly, the gimmick they're coming up with, if this is the gimmick, this is already a 10-year-old gimmick. Cameron is literally bringing nothing new to the table here other than the laser projection, which isn't really technically new. It's just been so expensive that most places don't have it. It's just starting to come down in price.
Yeah,
So he's not bringing anything new to the table. When he did Avatar, the original, with
yeah,
that 3D,
yeah.
that was new. Real
Oh
D
yeah,
was not
groundbreaking,
like, I
groundbreaking.
mean,
Nobody
it wasn't
used
brand
it
new.
that
I should
way.
rephrase that, but nobody had used it to that extent.
Yeah, that
And,
way.
and it'd been years since we'd had a movie that used the polarized 3D system because it was kind of wonky. And now with computers, you could perfect it a little more.
Yeah.
So in that case, yeah, that's where I got into 3D. It wasn't so much because of Avatar, but it was like, oh, finally, I can ditch the blue green fucking glasses or
Mm.
blue red glasses. I
Blue-ray
mean,
glasses, yeah. I didn't like that. I like lenticular is fine. Polarized is fine. I either way works for me. I like the uh I like the look and feel of that type of presentation, like on an attraction at a theme park. But for an entire movie, I mean, it wears
it
me out.
depends on the movie. I mean, I have shit. I could look right now, probably close to 300 titles in 3D. So it's not like there's a small amount of movies, but I mean, of all those titles, I mean, there's maybe a dozen that I'd actually say are okay. I only got 235,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's only a few of them that I'd be like are you know, must watches in
I
3D.
I mean, I have what, less than 60 3D films, I think, at this point, because I don't really. I mean, despite having the capabilities, I don't even care. I think there's a 3D player on all of the screens, but I don't care. I don't care. I bought the TVs for the high frame rates because I play, console video games on them and stuff, and occasionally one of them eventually gets, turned into a
Believe it
monitor.
or not, the better 3D ones I have are like older films because they actually are made more for the 3D gimmick, so it
Yeah,
plays better. I mean, that's the problem with a lot more modern films is they're just it feels like you're just kind of looking at
Tom.
at a in out a window more than you're actually seeing something in 3D.
Yeah, Tom, do you happen to know the answer to this question? Because I thought it was because the concerns with the expense versus the problem with the frame burn-ins and stuff.
Yeah, there was that, and then also with 4K now, the quality just wasn't necessary. They're more expensive.
You can get
They're
that.
hard to you can't really repair them.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen those the excuse me, the not 4K, the 8K monitors for studio production stuff?
Not in
Ooh.
person.
Oh,
But I mean, and they're heavy as fuck.
and your eyes can't discern the difference from the 4K, but it just seems softer when you're looking at it, and you can dial in closer and stuff. It's really
Well, Plasma always
fascinating.
had a little bit better screen,
Always,
but like I
always.
said, now that we have 4K and you
Yeah.
know OLED and the other stuff they've got going on now, like and QLED or whatever it is, QLD or whatever it is. Like those are kind of getting up to the point where it's not really worth it considering the downsides of plasma. Like the burn-in is an issue that they've really worked on quite a bit. Like I don't have that problem as bad in my TV, but mine's also one of the last plasmas ever made. My mom has a plasma too. That was one of the latter ones.
I have like 3 or 4. I think I've got 2 up north at the cabin.
And I probably have one of the thinnest plasmas you could get, and it's still pretty.
Oh, they weigh a butt ton.
Yeah, that thing still weighs quite a bit there, and it's not very thick. But for a plasma, it's still
yeah. Well, I think Sander Hammerslag is on a crusade to get Gorilla 2. Congo 2, Gorillas in a Twist up on the screen.
Gorillas in a Twist.
Yeah, that'd be good. But nobody's interested. Nobody cares. So, yeah. And Trav says what I think everybody would say, which is it's Cameron, so I'm still kind of curious. And that's probably it. Of course, we have our buddy Mike, Mexican Iron Man, for $10 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says 3D is awesome. Like when I saw Spidey No Come Home in 3D. With 4DX. Tom, read this.
Spider-Man No Come Home. You got to see this movie? That's bullshit. I still have not seen the Spider-Man No Come Home. Everybody is seeing this movie but me.
Oh, it's very good. Anyway, he says, maybe I will see the new Avatar in 3D 4DX. Wait, Tom just said he has a larger TV than me? What the?
82-inch.
Damn.
I would have got 86, but it wouldn't fit on the stand.
So hanging on the wall.
It wasn't that much more. I was thinking about that, but I don't trust the wall.
You realize that your wall's tensile strength in drywall alone, when properly hung.
I get it, but you said properly hung.
Oh, speaking of that, we have the boss man.
You must be on the mobile.
Yeah. That is indeed correct. I am on the mobile. How did you? Oh, of course, the icon.
Your picture.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm out driving. Sorry I couldn't join you regularly, but it's been a very busy day. It's not over. But I figured I'm gonna try to pop in, even if it's just a few minutes from the car.
A video this morning.
Yeah, I'm sorry about dropping. I did not mean to drop it until you were live, but to be honest, I was stressed because I had to do a million things all at once, and I
Twitter
and I've messed up a little bit. So yeah, sorry about that.
No, he didn't check Twitter, so it's half his fault.
It's definitely half my fault, if not more.
Because I said to him, "Can you hold off for a few minutes?" But I didn't realize the video was that long either. So
yeah,
no, exactly. There was nothing to hold off on. It really should have been released afterwards, but I messed up the premiere. It's as simple as that. Human error. So sorry about that. One-time work crime. But hey, I'm here and not there on the premiere, so
there is no premiere. I think he just dropped it. Yeah,
I know. That's what I did.
I feel bad. It's all my fault for not.
No, don't. There's nothing to feel bad about. Right. It's just like a video got dropped, and I'm sorry about it. But hey, I'm here now. So
I'm glad you're here. We were just talking about the gimmick that James Cameron is going to use is going to be 3D for the new Avatar 2 film.
Oh wow! Just after they've dismantled all of the 3D equipment
there's
everywhere.
More of it. There's more to it. Well, there's one good thing. You did not plug the Amber Turd shirt, did you?
I did not. I know I should have probably, but I was in a rush and a hurry. But hey, more opportunities. I did promise a follow-up video. I can plug it there.
Good. We'll pin that in the top of the thing there when you get home. But no, there's more to this, Andre. The one good thing is we're supposed to be getting more theaters outfitted, at least in the U.S., with laser projection, which is a plus.
Yeah.
But guess what? Here's your favorite part.
Okay.
He's going to be using the groundbreaking high frame rate.
For fuck's sake.
Yep. I was like, are you kidding me? The 10-year-old technology.
Do we have to do this one more time? I mean, when can they figure out that the 24 pictures a frame was not an accident? It wasn't a technical limitation. It was chosen very specifically for a reason back in the day. Research went behind 24 frames per second.
Yep.
And they tried 60 frames per second just a decade ago. Was it 2012 that The Hobbit came out?
Yep, The Hobbit. Not that long ago with Gemini Man as well.
I mean, why are they still trying to do this? Like, it's not happening.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said, Andre. This is the dumbest thing ever.
How are they thinking? What's wrong with them?
I don't know. But 48 frames a second, though. Come on. Gonna be great.
Yeah, I have to just say again that my single worst theatrical experience ever was watching The Hobbit in 3D in 48 frames per second.
I think that was 48 frames as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 48 frames.
Gemini Man was the one that was 60.
I haven't even seen that, but 40. It was so horrible. I absolutely hated it. It ruined the entire movie. It's my single worst experience. I mean, not even the time when two people sitting next to me brought out in fist fight in the theater. I prefer that because that at least was some extra entertainment compared to like this. Yeah. I swore there and then that next time I see Hobbit, it's not going to be on Blu-ray. It's not going to be on DVD. I'll watch a VHS copy. Thank you so very much, just to make sure that I don't have to suffer through anything remotely like that ever again.
Well, luckily the Blu-ray has limitations to where they can't do 60 frames or 48 frames on the Blu-ray. So
I don't care. It's still too high quality.
Is 24. Yeah, it's actually 24 frames, and the same thing with Gemini Man. It totally looks different. Like it actually feels like a movie on the Blu-ray compared to the, because they even have like 60 frame per second.
Yeah, compared to the behind-the-scenes documentary, which the whole movie felt like.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying too. Is like it's one thing if you're watching a football game or something like that, fine.
Or documentary or porn, then it's all good and well.
Even porn was questioned in the chat.
Yeah, Olivia Nimakara said that prawn was not actually. It looked very plasticky, or it didn't look good.
So that didn't work either.
Yeah,
so it can't even be used for that.
Like I said, basically the only people who like this high frame rate shit are the 17-year-olds who think they're being cool on YouTube by taking out the motion blur of Ed 209 and RoboCop and not realizing they're destroying Phil Tippett's art. And that's the only people who give a shit about high frame rate stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I like motion blur. I think it helps. It gives you the illusion.
Well, they clearly don't understand the point of it, right? Like that's what Phil Tippett added to stop motion. It didn't have that before.
Yeah.
That's what helped make it feel more real. Like I'll stand by the first RoboCop stop motion effects any day over most CGI.
This is one of the things we spoke about the RoboCop remake, and Edo 209 was my least favorite aspect of the remake, and very much of it is because of that stop motion effect, which I just thought made Ed 209 so much more terrifying in the original.
Yeah.
You have 20 seconds to comply. I can't even do that voice.
Oh man, that's great. But we got a couple of supers. I'm not sure where this came into the conversation, but our buddy Nick over at 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser for $5. Check out Nick's channel. He says Tom's is bigger than Culture's?
You were talking about being well hung.
We're talking about no. I was talking about.
I just came in hearing about some hung conversation, and that was my point to come in. That was entry. That should tell you everything you need to know.
And then you had to go and say point of entry.
Yeah, bad timing. Look, it's
or good timing.
Maybe it's hanging the TV on the wall. You want to make sure it's properly. Yeah. I just was about
because I said I only got an 82-inch instead of an 86-inch because my stand only. That's all the bigger I could go. And
man. He's
like, hang it on the wall. I'm like, I don't trust the wall.
I am a clip factory, apparently. But let's get these other two. We got Blue-Eyed Roof Curry in the Bays for $5. Says, documentary suggestion for an eventual Midnight's Edge anime channel. Look into the way Attack on Titan Season 1 was animated. Pure archaic futility. Wow.
We'll keep that in mind. So that it's a few things that are on the list of priorities first before we get to that. But I'll keep the suggestion in mind.
And most of that was Greek to me, so I know what Attack on Titan is and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool. And I know that many people don't like the live-action Attack on Titan movie. Personally, I loved it. That's me, though.
Yeah,
or the two of them.
I can't speak intelligently on either yet, although Attack on Titan is part of the catalog of things I now have that I need to catch up on. So,
and Nick, you got to take an S off there.
What happened?
He says you men have amazing inches.
Well, thank you, Nick. Wow.
There's no plural.
Thank you for that. Mexican Ironman says, I am a confused Mexican. Please help me understand the big debate of 24 versus 48 or whatever FPS. What's the issue? Why is it horrible?
Okay.
Well, while you discuss that, I'm just going to drop out a little bit here, okay?
No problem.
Thank you, Andre.
Basically, what Andre was saying was back in the day, they used to do movies when they were in the silent era were random frame rates half the time. Like they just cranked it. So it'd be anywhere from 15 to 18 to 20 some frames a second, sometimes depending on how they were doing it. And then eventually when they actually got to the point where they said, we got to come up with a standard. And, like I think it was around 18, 19 frames is where you could stop seeing the flicker. But then if you went more than 24 to 29 frames, it would start to be too smooth and you wouldn't see, like you just saw Culture move his hand there. There was a little bit of motion blur. That's because your eyes see it that way and his camera's running at 24 frames or 29 frames a second.
Right.
And what that is that's the way eyes naturally perceive light. So it is 24 frames per second was a mathematical equation figured out that it is the closest to how the eye perceives light. Yeah. And in that, it gives us the illusion of it's partially almost dreamlike because it is kind of a little bit off, but it's close enough to our vision. But then when you get to higher frame rates, we don't naturally see that way. So for us, that's why a soap opera looks funny. It's called the video effect because a video runs at higher than 30 frames a second, sometimes much more than that, depending on the type of video you're using. When you're getting into digital video nowadays, they're using 48 or 60 frames per second. And that gives you the same effect as if you're watching like a live basketball game or football game or something like that, where you don't see any motion blur usually. And the benefit of that, of course, is you can keep an eye on the puck or the ball or what have you, things of that sort a lot better. And then, soap operas are run that way because video, that way it takes a lot less lights. It's a lot easier to edit, a lot quicker to turn around and all that business. So like all soap operas and news and all that stuff moved over to video back in the day. So yeah. And yes, exactly. To our brain, to our eye, 24 frames per second looks the most natural for some reason.
What's funny is, remember, even prior to film, we had moving pictures. They were called rotoscopes. This is before that term was adapted into how we actually,
or the zoetropes.
Things out of stuff. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. And you literally would spin this series of pictures around like a horse running or something like that. That was the first kinds of motion pictures that you would see. And again, it all came down to the research. How does that best look? How many times a second can you see something? So,
and I mean, like Andre said, if you're doing something like a documentary where you're trying to capture like a bullet going through something, you're going at like massive amounts of frame rates. You're talking like 100 some frames a second sometimes and stuff like that. They can crank it up there. And then when you play it back at a normal speed, then it just looks, a certain way. Like they even use it. Like here's an example in movies like Gremlins, Little Shop of Horrors, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Whenever they had the creatures on screen and they were moving around a lot, they would shoot it at a higher frame rate and then play it back at the normal frame rate so it would look like they were moving a little bit more normal. But when they were filming it, they were doing slower motions. Yeah. So, right, for like instance, in Little Shop of Horrors, when Rick Moranis is singing along with the plant, he's actually singing at like quarter speed or half speed or whatever it is they're running the frame rate at. So like he'll be singing like, I don't know, instead of the actual tone because, he wasn't singing it that way, but he's lip syncing to it. So the plant could do its thing and not have to move so quickly because the puppeteers, you got like 10 puppeteers cranking on things and doing all kinds of shit.
Can you imagine the lip wires you're trying to do with your fingers to make all that happen?
You have like at least one or two guys alone just running the pod, right? Like you have one guy who's on the crank just running the mouth part, just going up. And you probably have two guys doing the mouth part, and then you have another guy just doing the body part. And then you have guys working on all the vines and all that shit. Like you got 10, 20 guys in any given scene running that puppet. Same thing with the Ninja Turtles. You've got anywhere from 2 or 3 guys on each turtle, right? Like, so all these guys, Chucky is another one. They do the same thing. Yeah. They have Brad Dourif do his voiceover first, and then they'll run it back at a slower speed, higher frame rate. So then when Chucky is on screen, he looks, and now they actually have it to where the computer can lip sync the puppet. So it makes it a lot easier for him. But back in the day, they used to have to do it by hand, and that was tough. So you had to get everything just right. It was a pain in the ass to do, and you can use that to your advantage, and it can look cool. But when you're doing it all the time, it doesn't look right.
Yeah, and so one of the reasons why they are trying to shift up, I think that was a question from earlier.
I like that, Terry Rose. Not so suddenly, Seymour. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
that song, he got this thing in regular speed because there was no plant involved.
Yeah, but seriously, there were guys that had rings for the cables to move the lip wires and everything else that were just.
So actually, you're right. There was probably 2 or 3 guys on the lips alone.
Well,
and everything like that. And
I think one guy could probably handle those types of articulations. Yeah,
because like in the Turtles, you had one guy for the eyes, or no, they had one guy for the eyes, and then one guy was working the mouth, and then another guy who was working actual like lip movements. So I think you had 3 turtle guys just alone. The guy who was doing the actual puppet mouth, he was the one who usually did the voiceover. Yeah, exactly. Man. And see, that was all done on a servo in the shell. All that stuff was on an RC in the shell.
That's bananas because, I mean, back in the day, you were using you'd have your hands, you'd have a bar in your hands that would be like a glove, and you would have the cables on the fingers to move the like armatures.
Cables, basically,
yeah, you would. Yeah. So it was, man, that's nuts. All right. Anyway, Oliverian
just like a bike brake would. Yep. Sorry.
So somebody asked a question. I think it was Trav 101. I want to find it. Crap. Trav 101 asked a question. It was a good one. That's going to bother me. I think it was essentially, so why are they pushing 48K frames?
I don't know.
That's a good question. I don't have a good answer for it, to be honest with you. Yeah, so there's the question. So why are they pushing forward with it? I don't know. And
it looks like Corley and Rogue enjoyed the experience, but to me, it would just make me feel like I'm watching a video.
Well, they're going to push it at 48 frames per second, but that's 24 frames for each eye.
I see where you're coming with that math, but I don't know if it's going to work that way.
We'll see, but that's how that works. You have one lens one way, the other lens the other way. Instead of you have horizontal this way and vertical that way.
High frame rate still spells no.
Well, we'll see.
Motion blur and overly.
Rick Moranis had a birthday since his attack. Maybe 2 now, but I think he was in the news for his birthday. So I don't know. But after the attack that
he's still making that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids sequel.
Wow, that's terrible. But last story, because we, like you said, we had to do a quick hit today, which of course is this. Theater owners chief says day and date movies are dead as a serious business model. He's not wrong.
Duh.
But he said this before. This was a bad plan. He wasn't wrong.
Yeah, that's what's his face. Who's been on top of this shit since the start.
Yeah, he's out there telling everybody, "Look, his name's John Fithian." Yeah. He says the movie theater industry's top lobbyist said that the persistent experimentation with that saw studios release movies in cinemas at the same time they landed on streaming or video on demand is over. I'm pleased to announce that the simultaneous release is dead as a serious business model, and piracy is what killed it. No kidding. Of course, this is from John Fithian, head of the National Association of Theater Owners, otherwise known as NATO.
Can we get a big fat duh on that one too?
Yeah. Dude, but we were talking about this when they announced it 2 years ago.
You and I I think we can take that victory lap because you and I were some of the first ones. A lot of people came around later, but you and I both know there's a lot of people who have revisionist history when it comes to this. Because a lot of people are like, "Oh, theaters are dead. Theaters are dead." And those same people I said, "Well, you were just saying a few months ago theaters dead." I never said that. I'm like, bullshit. Y'all were saying the same thing and calling me crazy because I said that the studios need the theaters more than the theaters need the studios. And y'all called me crazy for saying that. And I know you were
the first one to say that, but I didn't back you enough on that, but I did say that when you have this many streaming services, most of which aren't even available worldwide, and then you have a 4K copy instantly available for download on the in the Tales of Tortuga or whatever,
That's right, Tortuga.
Yeah, exactly. No way that is going to work out the way that they planned.
No, Culture hadn't. He was right there with me the whole time. He agreed with me. He never once wavered on that.
I look. There's too much money in the theatrical release. There's too much value there, and it does keep it off of the big island sites that the eye patch people go to with their skull and crossbones flags.
Yeah, exactly. The places where you go to like surf and be careful of the sharks in the water.
Yeah. In fact, you probably should use something like Surfshark to protect yourselves from predators when you're out and about doing some activity.
Exactly, the governmental kind of predators. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, who would have thought? Who would have thought that like making a 4K copy freely available would drive piracy when there's so much competition between the streamers? Who would have thought?
Well, and interestingly enough, obviously he's going to talk about the theatrical release windows in the story, and I think they'll grow again. I think they're going to go back to a 90-day window from the 45 one that was the compromise. So I think again they need to realize revenue, and I think they're realizing that they're cutting into their revenue. I mean, everybody.
I think one thing might hold up against that though.
Okay.
Because you have the theatrical side of things, but say for instance you have Disney Plus and you have Netflix and you have HBO Max as serious contenders. Yeah. One of them releases movies after a 45-day window. Mm-hmm. The other releases after a 90-day window. That's a slight advantage right there. One of them is going to have hotter movies faster than the others.
True.
So maybe it won't return to like a 90-day window. I think they're going to try to compete with each other a little bit there about freshness. Maybe not.
Maybe 60 days.
For instance, I can see them reaching like a new standard there for like 60 days, having like some level of freshness and exclusivity. Because like wait 90 days, and maybe it's no longer the selling point for the platform as it would have been at 45 days.
I think, I see 60 days as maybe a decent compromise there. But the reason I think the Batman didn't do as well as it could have potentially.
Did you see it yet, by the way?
No, still no. I haven't had time, Andre, but I will.
No, I know. It's also because you don't care. Otherwise, you would have made the time.
That's true. But look, if they had made that less available, if it was more scarce, if I knew that I would have had to wait another 30 days, maybe I would have invested some money into seeing it in a theater. But it's now available on streaming, and I really think that's what destroyed the last week and a half, 2 weeks of business for it, is because people are like, you know what, I'll just see it on streaming next week.
Absolutely. That was the last week and a half, 2 weeks. That doesn't explain the first 2 weeks, though. But yeah, but also with that, I only have like 9% battery left.
Thank you so much, Andre, for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. And of course, obviously, subscribe to the great Midnight's Edge and all of the channels affiliated. They do a great job. Andre is the best leader I think I know. So thank you, Andre, for joining us today.
Absolutely. And when you are finished here, go check out our most recent Amber Heard video.
Yes.
Smoking hot off the presses. Sorry about the slightly low video quality, but that's what you get when the video is. Well, in my defense, though, the video wasn't finished. I mean, the testimony is still going when it was uploaded, so it's not like I had like a finished video to like rip.
Well, I was going to say we should have done more of a recap at this point first, but
you guys were, but you're killing it. That kind of coverage definitely goes a long way.
Well, we really weren't going to, but it is kind of getting into that territory where we have to, because it's talking about Pirates 6 and
we've been talking so much about DC that we would be remiss not to talk about it.
Very true.
There's that aspect too. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, literally, folks, this includes testimony you could have seen today, just a few hours ago. I mean, this is how quickly.
Did you get the line in there from Johnny Depp though? You didn't get any of his testimony. We got to cover some of his stuff yet too.
Oh, that's for the next video.
I was going to say, because I love the part where he's like, "Did you try? You tried controlling her career and stop her from being in movies?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's how come she's in Aquaman."
I have another great one prepped for the next video, so we can easily throw that one in there. But for this one, I just like, whoa, she's being labeled essentially a psycho right now, live in real time, and I'm here
I've been
live
keeping up with
grabbing
a
it.
lot of it, so I mean, he had a rough day. What was it? Last Thursday, I think, was pretty rough, or yesterday was pretty. One of the two.
Last Thursday was pretty rough, but that's something we'll address in the next video. He's not out of the woods yet. He's not out yet.
No, but clearly anybody who.
I'm now at 8% battery, so we'll speak later.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up anyway because he's got to go at the hour.
All right,
so. Take care, Andre.
Bye.
All right. I am actually linking it. I linked it in the chat. I'm also linking it in the video description right now. So we now have an updated description as of this very second. Do check that out. It is well worth your time. There's so much banana stuff going on with that. It's
the beauty of this is that Johnny has something. Well, no, he has a jury, right? Because I don't like this judge. The lawyers on her side are they're snakes. I mean, they're some of the worst kind of lawyers, you can tell.
Right.
Johnny's doing the best he can. He's not a perfect human being, as we brought up, but it's clear that he's the one. From all the evidence that we have, it's pretty clear, obvious that he's the one who was being bullied, abused, treated less than in this situation. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Actually, you're going to get to see, I think, the testimony from one of those doctors.
Anybody who took any psychology classes or knows anything about abuse, it's pretty clear, because the type of things that Johnny says, the way he reacts, what he does for her, the way he tries to apologize for everything, those are the kind of things that somebody who's a victim does. The way that Amber acts, trying to pass the buck, gaslight, obfuscate, constantly calling him names and demeaning him. That's clearly the actions of an abuser. And you listen to the video or audio, and you can hear the way she talks to him. There's
terrible.
If he clearly was doing anything to her, there's no way she'd talk to him like that.
No. And what's the funniest part, I think, was when the cosmetics company that
busted
she said that lying. Busted her for lying. I was like, oh shit. Anyway, thank you all for being here today. Do go check out the video. Yeah, do go check it out. The video is out there now. It's been out there for a bit. It's got several thousand views already. Let's try and get it over 10K in the first hour. So run over there and give it a watch. That would be fantastic. Share it out. Of course, Mecha J points out that Howard Stern called Johnny Depp a narcissist, and that douchebag is one to talk.
Oh, fuck him. You're talking about the dude who made a movie about himself, starring himself, painting himself as a perfect fucking saint? Yeah, right.
Yeah. Not being perfect doesn't mean he deserves a sort of treatment.
No, exactly. No.
She was diagnosed with histrionic and borderline personality disorder. No excuse, though. Yeah, she definitely is.
They're going to try and use it as an excuse.
Yeah. I saw your CultureCasino member chat, my friend. I'm going to get to it before we end. And I think Willie Woodward sent me one too. Says, well, I'm getting ready to see The Northman. This is from the Jack of All Casuals. He's been a member for 18 months. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. It was nice seeing you in Vegas. Hope to see you in Vegas at the next one, which is going to be announced here shortly. First time in the theater since in Russian voice. No, come home. You need to say it because I can't do it.
The No Come Home with the Spider-Mans.
Yes.
You have the 3 Spider-Mans. You have the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. You have Andrew the Garfield, the cat Spider-Mans, and you have the little boy Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
With the cool outfit.
You like that one or no?
I don't know. I never see the movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why didn't you see the movie?
They took away my Netflix.
That's terrible.
So I made Netflix.
Oh, I heard. How's that going?
We having 4 subscribers. My neighbor, Olaf, my cousin, my mom, and my sister.
All right. Oh, yeah, and I appreciate Willie Woodward sending me that via DM. You are a good human being. All right, let's push out the door here, folks. Unfortunately, we got to keep this one short. Got a minute to get it out of the door. You got anything else coming up, Tom, or just promoting the big video?
Midnight's Edge After Dark. The new video's up. It's Tuesday. I might do some radio here. It's 2 for Tuesday. You never know.
All right.
So yeah.
We may do twice a week with the late night culture stream. We'll see. We might have another one next tomorrow night. We'll see. I know you can't probably do that.
I can probably make it, but you just want to make my Wednesdays chock full of shit, don't you?
No. Okay, maybe not.
Olaf is Scandinavian. I am sorry, Olaf. You're right. You are not my neighbor.
Not this neighbor.
Oleg, okay. but I call him that because he's aloof.
Aloof. Netflix did lose the Marvel properties. That's true.
They did that to themselves. They could still be making those.
It's dumb. Very, very dumb.
Don't let anybody fool you. They had every opportunity to continue those shows. Disney was more than willing to keep going with them. They were the ones who decided to quit.
All right. Willie sent me another one. This is from the ever lovely Tina Bojan asking about Vegas. Member for 18 months. Thanks, dear.
I was supposed to be out there now at CinemaCon, but that didn't happen.
Yeah. Actually, here it is. It says, do we have an estimated date /weekend for Orlando meetup in October? You will know sometime Friday would be my guess. And I will get it out there. I'll get out that. My final answer on whether or not I'm going to make it to MegaCon, Orlando at the end of May, which it looks like I probably am. I'm also going to be in the Florida area at the first 2 weeks of May because I got business to take care of over there. We got one more member chat before we wrap up, folks. It is from Blue Eyed Roof Korean the Base, 18-month member. Thank you for that, my friend. Says, listening to Tom's tone, I can tell it's personal to him. Yes. Yeah, when it comes to the Depp stuff, yeah.
Well, for various reasons. I've always been a Johnny Depp fan since way even before everybody else knew who he was. Yeah. Secondly, I've been in situations similar to that. Yeah. So I know what it's like when nobody believes a guy.
Yeah, it sucks.
And it's one of those things. So
it is. So go check out the video over on Midnight's Edge. It is well worth your time. It's a little longer, but it is in depth, and Andre is killer at narrating stuff. So indeed. Other than that, I'll just say the same thing I always say. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. Check out the Humpty Dump over on Scotty's channel, Sporkin News podcast tomorrow night. Tonight is, might be trekking on Tuesday on Odyssey for Wes. I'm not sure if he's going to be doing that on the new Whatever Cast channel. I don't know. And until next time, bye. It was the CultureCasino. Real cute face. Yes, you have a real cute face. CultureCasino. It is time to go. CultureCasino. He is late. He said he was only going an hour. It's 1:02. Now it's 1:03. Oh no, oh no.